Okay, so let's talk about Gone Home. First, I'll be talking about Gone Home like I would talk about any other game. And this won't end well for Gone Home. I'm sorry. Let's start with the presentation. The graphics are not exactly stellar. Textures are very bland. There are lots of clipping issues and a ton of reused assets everywhere. Low resolution wall textures. Also there's physics problems. I've thrown various objects into closed drawers or other places where they shouldn't really end up in. There was also a button that I threw onto some papers that were on the table, and the button ended up under the papers. I don't even know how that would be possible. I think it wouldn't be. Nah. So yeah, graphic presentation aren't exactly good. They're pretty terrible. Let's talk about sound design. Sound is pretty much one of the best parts of the game. There is hardly any background music, and most parts there is none. Most of the game you just hear the ambient background noises, and let's call them atmosphere sounds. So you hear the rain on the outside, thunder, it's storming. You hear your own footsteps, and yeah, that works quite good. The sounds really help create an atmosphere, and yeah, I guess that's what the developers were going for, and yeah, that pretty much works. Now let's talk about the real crew with the game. The gameplay. There is none. No, sorry, there is no gameplay. So can hardly call this a game actually. Anyway, let's talk about it in detail. As I already mentioned in my playthrough, the controls are a bit wonky and stiff from time to time. Especially I had a problem with strafing to the left for whatever reason, I don't know why. Doors would constantly get stuck on yourself, which is kinda annoying in the first person perspective. Also in most games it's like okay, a door gets stuck because it slammed against your head, and if you move a step back you open the door, or at least you have the option to open the door. Not here. If you use the door again, it gets closed. If you try to open it again, you're probably too far away and have to try it again, which of course results in the door bumping against you again. Enough with the controls, back to the gameplay problems. As stated, there's no gameplay. There are no puzzles, no enemies, there's no inventory system, there's nothing really much to do. You walk through the mansion, you read various notes, letters, books and whatever is lying around there, and try to piece together what happened here. This might be for an interesting, let's say, interactive movie kind of experience, but for a game it's just not good. It's rather pretty disappointing, to be honest. Overall, I would rate this game not a game out of 10. Seriously, it's not a game, it's a walking simulator. Yeah, that's it. You walk around, yeah, great. Now, some people have been comparing this game to Myst or other adventure games, and nah. Even in Myst you had some sort of puzzles. In this game you don't have that. There's nothing. You just walk around, and if you actually know how to finish the game, you can pretty much finish it in about 3 minutes. I have a speedrun of this. Speedrun. Great. Yeah, I can see that it is very easy to finish the game if for some reason you accidentally stumble onto the secret passage early on. That's also what happened to me when I had my first and my only playthrough with the game. On my playthrough, at one point I was, thanks to my great orientation skills, I was kind of stuck. Started running around in the house, and I found a secret passageway. And that passageway led me straight to the end of the game. So I pretty much skipped half of the game by accident. That's not a sign of good design. I mean, sure, it's very non-linear, but you can really make the game absurd by this, by just playing through the entire game within 3 minutes. You pretty much skip the entire storyline by doing so, and that's not really a sign of good design, I think. Overall verdict, not a game out of 10. It's a walking simulator. Might be an interesting experience if you like interactive movies, stuff like that. But if you're looking for a game, or for an adventure, more specifically, you should probably get something else. Now the game mainly gets its praise and focuses its everything on its story. Now, what did I think of the story? Tune in later when I talk about the story, because that is a whole other can of worms.